those cells are responsible to perform the maximum metabolic activity when they are present in. Hello students, welcome to Dr. Deepa Dhake's NEET Biology, and into this session we are going to study about new unit plant physiology from class 11. So let's begin with chapter 11, that is transport in plant. And from this chapter, in today's session we mainly discuss about osmosis and plasmolysis and what are the importance of plasmolysis in plant. When we study about the transport in plant, so one thing you remember, predominantly water transport we study in this chapter, and at the end we study about the transport, how does transport is take place in phloem. So for water transport, mainly number of processes or phenomena are responsible, like osmosis, imbibition, plasmolysis, and in addition to that we study the active and passive transport in plant. So first we discuss about the osmosis. Directly I am coming here towards osmosis because introductory part, the types of membranes, diffusion separately we study in next topic. First we clear about the osmosis, then we come towards the faciltate diffusion and the passive and active transport. So here you remember when we study about osmosis, so osmosis, you remember the scientist Topfer provide the term osmosis for the first time. And when we study about the osmosis, so one thing you remember, in short normal terms it is called as biological diffusion across the selective permeable membrane. So basically osmosis term we predominantly use for the transport of water or water in biological system stand as a solvent. So you remember osmosis is the process of transport of water molecule or solvent molecule, you remember, according to concentration gradient or from their own higher concentration towards their own lower concentration. So this part you remember, whenever molecules of water or molecule of solvent transport it from their own higher concentration towards their own lower concentration, most important thing is the movement is take place through a selective permeable or differentially permeable plasma membrane. So through selective permeable plasma membrane. So this part you remember. Now the process of osmosis is only take place when the concentration gradient is present. So concentration gradient you remember, in adjacent cells when the concentration gradient is present, then this concentration gradient is required or responsible for osmosis. And secondly, as the concentration at equilibrium state, or you remember at the state of equilibrium, equilibrium means when both the adjacent cells show the isotonic concentration. So at the state of equilibrium, osmosis, you remember, the process of osmosis is automatically stopped. So this part you remember. Now if you have a clear cut idea about the hypotonic, hypertonic and isotonic concentration, in that case only you can very well clear about the osmosis, because in osmosis whenever we study, this is the simplest definition for explanation we use. But if you go through the objective questions or multiple choice question, तो वहां पर आपको ये मिलेगा, the movement of water is take place from the region of water is always move from the region of hypotonic concentration towards the hypertonic concentration. Now how it is? So here you remember when the plasma membrane, suppose this is our plasma membrane, and this plasma membrane is responsible for the deduction of two cells or for the differentiation. Deduction use किया है, sorry. When this plasma membrane is responsible for isolation or differentiation of the two cells, suppose this is the cell A and this cell B. Both the cells get differentiate or get isolate with the help of plasma membrane. The cell A show the cytoplasmic concentration, the 70% concentration in cytoplasm, and cell B is 30% concentration of the cytoplasm. Now what do we understand by the 70 and 30%? 70 means you remember the 70 ml और 70 grams आपके क्या हो सकते हैं? 70 ml you simply remember the 70 ml is sucrose or solute and the 30 ml water is present. Similarly in this case when you refer, so 30 ml solute or sucrose is present and the remaining 70 ml water is present. So here you remember the concentration, as much as low concentration is available, the amount of water is more. So cell B you remember, cell B originally cell B you remember it is hypotonic in concentration because the less concentration of solute and more concentration of water. But if you consider the cell A with respect to cell B, cell A show the hypertonic concentration. Why it is hypertonic? The cell A is hypertonic for cell B. For any another cell, the cell A may be show the hypotonic concentration. Suppose the cell C having 80% concentration, in that case the cell A become a hypotonic for a cell B, cell C. But here we only compare A and B. So B and A when we compare, so A is hypertonic in concentration with regard to B. Now how does the movement of water is take place? So water are always be moved from their own higher concentration towards their own lower concentration. So here you remember water is always moved from the region of hypotonic concentration towards the region of hypertonic concentration. So from hypotonic concentration or a hypotonic solution, water is always moved towards the hypertonic, and till the state of equilibrium, the process of osmosis you remember take place up to the state of equilibrium. When water is moved in cell A or enters in cell A, so automatically the concentration of the cell A become decreases, so it becomes 60%. As the water comes out of the cell B, so the concentration of the sucrose gradually increases. So from 30% it becomes 40%. Further, when the cell show the continuous osmosis, the concentration of the cell A is 50 as well as the cell B also comes at a 50. That means both the cells are showing equal concentration, that is isotonic. Here you remember the 50-50 means the state of equilibrium, and at this state the process of osmosis is automatically stopped. So this part you remember, osmosis always required a selective permeable plasma membrane. Now when we study about the osmosis, so clearly you remember from cell A water comes out of the cell, whereas for cell A water is enter inside the cell. So here you remember whenever we study about the osmosis, so two types of osmosis we study, endosmosis and exosmosis. So let's study here the types of osmosis. When we study about the types of osmosis, so here you remember there are two types of osmosis. First is called as endosmosis and the second is exosmosis. Endosmosis we study, endosmosis mean important question asked from this section, when will be the endosmosis take place? When will endosmosis take place? So here you remember whenever cell is placed in hypotonic concentration. This is the most important part. Whenever cell comes in contact with hypotonic concentration, or you place the cell in hypotonic concentration, then water show inward movement, and this inward movement of the water molecule is called and osmosis. So this part you remember. Now because of this, what is happening? One of the common example, when we place the grape in water, so water start to enter inside the, when we kept the resins in water, और किशमिश आप commonly appear करते हैं. So when we place the resins in water, gradually water enter inside the resin, because inner side of the resin show the hypertonic concentration of sugar, and because of that end osmosis, resin become gradually swells up. So end osmosis you remember process जो होगा, it results in main turgidity of cells. So it results in turgidity of the cell. So cell become turgid, and common example you remember, whenever we kept the resins in water or in hypotonic concentration. So outer solution you always be remember, right? Outer solution is always be hypotonic, and because of that water molecules are move inside the cell, and at the end the cell becomes swells up, or the cell becomes called as turgid, because cell is completely packed with water. So this is the result, that the cell become, you remember, the cell become turgid in state. So this part you remember end osmosis when we study. So you remember end osmosis आपका कब होगा? The end osmosis, only this part you remember. The end osmosis is predominantly take place when the cell is kept in hypotonic concentration. Second, we study the exosmosis. Exosmosis when we study. So exosmosis, this is one of the most important topic or section for your upcoming NEET exam. So exosmosis means, you remember, when normal cell is placed in hypertonic solution or hypertonic concentration, or hypertonic simply we say solution, then the water from cell sac or cell cytoplasm moves out of cell, and the process is called as exosmosis. Now because of exosmosis, what is happening? It result, you remember, the exosmosis always results in flaccidity of the cell. So this part you remember, flaccidity of cell, that means the cell become flaccid because of the process of exosmosis. And the exosmosis, you remember, it is the one and only identical phenomena in terms of plasmolysis we study, and this is the phenomena which is used for detection of the livingness of the cell under microscope. Under microscope, if you want to study whether the provided cell is living or non-living, so you simply kept that cell in hypertonic solution. If the cell show exosmosis, that means the cell become a living cell or a viable cell. So this part you remember again, the cell which is fully turgid or completely turgid cell, this cell when kept in, the identical feature of the plant cell is the presence of vacuole. So one vacuole we draw along with the nucleus, and when this cell is placed in the hypertonic, so outer concentration is always be hypertonic. So hypertonic, so water molecule, you remember, the water molecules start to move outside the cell, and because of that the cell becomes flaccid, or the protoplasm, you remember, the protoplasm become shrink, or cell become, you remember, it become flaccid. And this kind of position को आप कह रहे हैं, or this process is called as exosmosis. So this part you remember. Now what is the importance of these two processes? Endosmosis you remember, because of endosmosis the entire cells of the plant become turgid in state and they perform the respective metabolic activity, whatever metabolic activity assigned for that cell. So those cells are responsible to perform the maximum metabolic activity when they are present in turgid state. And exosmosis you remember, one of the common example you can appear for exosmosis. You put the grapes in salt solution or in sugar solution. So after some time the grapes become shrink, and that shrinkage or that flaccidity of the grapes will be resulted because of the process of exosmosis. So one main important thing you remember, the endosmosis take place in hypotonic concentration and exosmosis is predominantly take place in hypertonic solution or hypertonic concentration. Now we come towards the plasmolysis, because the exosmosis is the type of osmosis which predominantly associate with one unique phenomena that is called as plasmolysis. So students, let's begin with plasmolysis. When we study about plasmolysis, so simply you remember plasmolysis. Plasmolysis is the process which is the result of exosmosis. So if you clear about the exosmosis, so easily you can understand the plasmolysis. Secondly, when we study the plasmolysis, what is plasmolysis? The process of, one thing in short you remember, process of shrinking of protoplasm. So shrinkage of protoplasm is called as plasmolysis. So process of shrinkage of protoplasm. And when will be the protoplasm shrink? When cell is kept in hypertonic solution. So this part you remember, whenever we place the cell in hypertonic solution, so due to exosmosis, process of shrinkage of protoplasm is take place, and that is called as plasmolysis. Here you remember, the plasmolysis take place or begins at a particular concentration, 0.04 molar concentration of sucrose is responsible for incipient plasmolysis. Now what is incipient plasmolysis? The process of plasmolysis begins at a particular concentration. So when the first time plasmolysis appear at a particular concentration or specific concentration, that is called as incipient plasmolysis, and in most of the living cells plasmolysis begins at 0.04 molar concentration of the sucrose. Now when we study about the plasmolysis, so some of the important things are there. Universally for plasmolysis we use one leaf. So that part you remember here, the leaf of Tradescantia plant. We use to study plasmolysis. Questions already asked, that's why I discuss here. Secondly, another question is asked from the plasmolysis. This is the one and only phenomena used to detect livingness of cell. So this part you remember. And third, plasmolysis you remember, because of plasmolysis the cell become flaccid and protoplasm become shrink. So this part you remember. Clear now when we study about the process of plasmolysis. So here you remember, initially the cell is in turgid state, and when we place this cell in hypertonic concentration, then water, you again remember, move from the region of hypotonic to hypertonic solution. So outer solution is hypertonic with respect to the protoplasm, the nucleus and large vacuole, and here it is a protoplasm, or you remember cell से भी कहते हैं हम. So protoplasm is here. This is the hypotonic. Cytoplasm is hypotonic in concentration and outer solution is hypertonic. So now the water is start to move from the inner cytoplasm to outer hypertonic solution. Because of that, the protoplasm become gradually shrink, and at the end of plasmolysis we appear the shrinkage of protoplasm, that the protoplasm becomes shrink and it remain present in center around the nucleus, or sometime it appear towards the one side of the cell, but normally it is present exactly in the center of the cell, in the center of the cell, that is around the nucleus, and water continuously comes out of the cell. So this is the condition when we say the cell is plasmaloid cell. So this part you remember. Plasmaloid cell will only appear when the cell is kept in the hypertonic solution. Now next question, what is should be present in between the vacuole and plasma membrane of the cell? तो यहाँ पे याद रखिएगा, this question already provided in NCERT. So inside the vacuole as well as in between the plasma membrane and vacuole, the outer solution is present. Outer solution means what is present here now in plasmaloid cell, you remember, simply the outer solution. Outer solution means the hypertonic solution is placed inside the vacuole as well as it placed inside the gap between the membrane and cell wall. So this part you remember. Now plasmolysis आप याद रखिएगा clearly. Because of plasmolysis one can identify the process of, किसको आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं, लिविंगनेस को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं. What is the importance of process? Importance of process you remember, jams, jellies, pickles are conserve और preserve, आप कहते हैं preserve for long duration. Why they get preserved as it is for long duration? Because of hypertonic concentration of, in jams and jelly, hypertonic concentration of sugar, and in pickle there is a hypertonic concentration of salt. So this is one of the most important phenomena which used in our day-to-day life, where we use the excessive or hypertonic concentration of sugar in jams and jelly, salt in pickles to preserve them. So this part you remember. Secondly, because of the process of plasmolysis, again you remember the all the eye drops and ear drops, whatever we use, eye drops, ear drops, as well as saline water or drip sometime use. So saline water all are isotonic in concentration. So they are isotonic, concentrations के through form होंगे, because if the eye drops, ear drops or saline water ranges in hypo or hypertonic, so immediate effect will be take place and cell either shrink or cell undergoes in a turgidity. Therefore, to avoid such condition resulted due to osmotic problem, you remember this question for also for your NEET exams, that the eye drop, ear drop and saline water all are they isotonic in concentration. So this much part you remember. Osmotic pressure and osmotic potential are the other part which are also associated with the osmosis phenomena, but in this session we are not going to study those osmotic pressure and potential. That part we study in next session when we study about water potential and the cell as a pressure system. When we study cell as a pressure system, at that time we study about the different types of pressures worked inside the cell or which required to maintain the turgidity of the cell. सो स्टूडेंट्स, आई होप कि आपको आज ये पार्ट थोड़ा क्लियर हुआ होगा ऑस्मोसिस का. दिस इज द बेसिक चैप्टर है आपका फॉर द प्लांट फिजियोलॉजी. more videos of the plant physiology related to photosynthesis and respiration I already explained किए हुए हैं आपको. so the students who are new they can go through those video also and by that time जब तक न्यू वीडियो लेकर मैं आती हूँ अगेन आप लोगों के लिए कंटिन्यूशन में इसी चैप्टर के. स्टे मोटिवेटेड, स्टे ब्लेस्ड. चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना नहीं भूलना है. सो सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल, लाइक माय वीडियोस एंड शेयर माय वीडियोस एंड स्टे ब्लेस्ड.